The following is a review for critical, analytical, and educational purposes only, and is protected under Article 17 and 107 in the United States Fair Use Code. This video is not an infringement on copyright. Please enjoy the video.
I'll be honest guys, June 2014's lineup, in the UK at least, is pretty underwhelming, especially for the summer movie season. I've been looking over the past 4 or 5 years, and some of the biggest and most interesting and best movies of the year were released in June, but here, yeah, there are some good movies and interesting films that I'm going to talk about, but almost all of those good and interesting movies are holdovers from months ago, or even last year, so the actual June 2014 release schedule, in the UK at least, is actually pretty tepid. What a great way to start a video, huh? Anyway, let's proceed.
22 Jump Street.
Well, I hoped never to see you again.
What's up, dog?
We're back. Ladies, nobody cared about the Jump Street reboot, but you got lucky. So now this department has invested a lot of money to make sure Jump Street keeps going. The only problem is the Koreans bought the church back, so we're moving you across the road to 22 Jump Street.
The on-fire Peter Lord and Christopher Miller are returning to Jump Street after one of the most surprising comedies in recent memory. The first Jump Street movie was a legitimately funny flick. Nothing transcendent, nothing amazing, but it was really funny and entertaining. This looks like the franchise will continue on that path, but with more confidence. The directors are getting better, Jonah Hill is getting funnier, Channing Tatum is legitimately becoming a Hollywood force to be reckoned with, and it looks like there's an even bigger level of self-awareness to the premise. I'm not expecting anything great, I'm not expecting this to be a brilliant sequel, but this does look good and an entertaining follow-up to the original.
I need you to be on your toes. I need you to improvise. Just follow my lead, okay? Yo, Sleepy, what's up, homie? Everyone's saying about yo, Sleepy, he like the Mexican Wolverine. Why you not talking? My name is Jeff. It's Jefe, man.
Fruitvale Station.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Shots fired at Fruitvale.
We're just trying to get home.
What is going on?
Next stop, Fruitvale Station.
Released in the US last year to spectacular critical acclaim, Fruitvale Station is a dramatized retelling of the last day in the life of Oscar Grant, an African-American who was shot in the back whilst laying face down while being detained by police on New Year's Day. The event was a big deal, prompting rioting, protesting, and is one example amongst hundreds of excessive American police force. It literally seems like every day there are stories coming out of the US of the police killing people through a terrible mishandling of their position as law enforcement. As a result, Fruitvale Station comes at a very relevant time. Also, lead actor Michael B. Jordan was thought to have been snubbed at the Oscars last year for this movie. If you want to know how talented your next Human Torch is, then check out this movie, but bring tissues because this will not be an easy ride.
Get off the train now! Put that phone in it.
Where you at? Are you still on the train?
We're still at Fruitvale.
Why can't you tell me what is going on? What is the problem? What did you do? Oh my God.
Grace of Monaco.
Hitchcock offered me a role.
Will you consider accepting?
I miss it. I can be a mother and a wife and hold down 2 jobs without the people getting too upset, can't I?
But what about the prince?
What about the prince? The prince is very supportive.
Ray is never going to accept the idea of his princess going back into the movies. You know that, Gracie.
I don't know. It's always politics with him.
Mr. President, I've already given our allegiance. That's not negotiation, that's extortion.
Have you thought that de Gaulle is looking for any excuse to take Monaco, even if it means turning you against me?
If you're an average moviegoer, chances are you have never heard of Grace of Monaco. If you keep up to date with movie news, however, then you'll know Grace of Monaco as the movie that was utterly trashed at the Cannes Film Festival this year. Seriously, critics destroyed this movie. My favourite comments coming from Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian, who said it's a film so awe-inspiringly wooden that it is basically a fire risk. Damn it, I wish I'd thought of that insult. So yeah, expectations upon its wide release are about as low as they can get, which is a shame because the premise of the movie is great. A biopic retelling the controversial marriage between Academy Award winning actress Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier. Seriously, research this story, it's fascinating. Do that instead of watching the film, because taking away the critical response to this, the trailers do look pretty bad on their own.
Family is all that matters. So what did the girl promise you to sell out yours?
Mommy, why are you crying?
If your family is to survive, you need to give them an ideal they can protect.
Bell.
Do not be afraid. I am here to take you to a good life. A life that you were born to. I beg you, Uncle, love her as I would were I here, and ensure that she is in receipt of all that is due to her as a child of mine.
Do you have in mind my position?
That is simply impossible.
What is right can never be impossible.
What has she been named?
Dido Bell Lindsay.
She takes your name.
I am not ashamed.
We will call her Dido.
Belle is based on the life of Dido Elizabeth Bell, who was an African-American woman saved from a life of slavery and taken into the aristocracy. Dido Bell is considered an influential African-American woman, as she was part of this famous painting alongside her cousin, and this painting is one of the first paintings to have a black person at the same eye level as a white aristocrat. The movie looks good, but much like The Butler, 12 Years a Slave and other movies about civil rights based on skin colour, it seems like it's carried a lot by its subject matter. Belle will have to do a lot to stick out of an increasingly crowded market. In fact, it's been released in the same month as Fruitvale Station, but the period detail looks great with a very talented cast. Let's see how this pans out.
You would risk your position for a man without name.
Laws that allow us to diminish the humanity of anybody are not laws.
He speaks a voice for people who do not have one.
If I had your choice, I would choose the man I loved.
There are rules in place which dictate how we live.
You break every rule when it matters enough, Papa. I am the evidence.
Devil's Knot.
Where's the boy?
He went out riding bikes with Michael, but I told him he better be home by 4:30.
I don't see the boy nowhere.
Stevie! Come on home! Y'all got anybody out there looking for my boy?
We're doing everything we can.
My son is 8 years old!
We have 3 boys missing from Holiday Garden.
Stevie!
It's a very delicate situation.
Can you hear me?
I'm in the woods by that little creek they call Devil's Den. I found something.
In 1993, 3 8-year-old children went missing in West Memphis, Arkansas, and 3 teenagers were tried and convicted of their murders. However, there was very little evidence to link them with the crime, and one of them only confessed to it after 4 hours of ruthless interrogation. These events became linked with satanic panic, and even today, over 20 years later, we still don't understand the full story. These events were heavily documented in a 2002 book, which this film is inspired by, starring Colin Firth doing an American accent, Reese Witherspoon, Dane DeHaan, and more talented actors. This looks really good. However, the reviews have been pretty negative, mainly stating that the movie adds nothing that the hundreds of documentaries on the subject haven't already. If you know everything about the story, maybe give it a miss, but if this movie is the first time you've heard of the West Memphis 3, then there might be something here for you.
The police seem so certain. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yes, I am.
Religion gives people who want to do evil the justification for what they do.
But did you ever find any evidence to link these murders to Damien? You don't talk to her, understand?
I have a right to hear what he says.
You're supposed to be a grieving mother. Start behaving like one.
Oculus.
My name is Kaylee Ann Russell. The purpose of today's experiment is to prove that the object behind me is responsible for at least 45 deaths in the 4 centuries of its recorded existence.
We got a new home, so we get new furniture.
It's a bit ostentatious, though, don't you think?
Hey, Dad, who's that lady in your office today?
What lady? We were just kids. We made up a scary story so we wouldn't have to accept the fact that our father was a sick man who killed our...
Mom?
No joke, but Oculus is one of my most anticipated movies of the summer. As psychological horror goes, this looks like an absolute breath of fresh air. Horror this year, in mainstream cinema at least, has been pretty poor, with The Quiet Ones, a movie that was almost good, being the standout. But I love the approach of this movie. A brother-sister team instead of a boyfriend and girlfriend, a reliance on psychology with moments of subtle gore instead of one extreme or the other, the use of children and past and present colliding. This looks intriguing as hell. And I'll never eat an apple again. This movie was released in the US a few months ago, which is depressing because I was so excited for Oculus. That excitement has died down a bit, another reason why staggered release dates is one of the dumbest things the movie industry is going through right now. But I'm still excited.
I've met my demons. I have many. I've seen the devil. He is me.
The Fault in Our Stars.
This is the truth.
Hey, make some friends.
Sorry.
My bad. I'm Augustus Waters. I've been in remission for about 1.5 years.
Maybe you'd like to share some of your fears with the group.
My fears? Oblivion. What's your name?
Hazel.
What's your full name?
Hazel Grace Lancaster. Why are you staring at me?
Because you're beautiful.
Oh boy, how do I approach this? Okay, I'll just say how I discovered this movie. I was writing this preview, and as I do with every movie in the UK release schedule, I research it, find out who is in it and who made it, and then I watched the trailer. I watched the trailer to this and thought, is this a parody of romance films? I mean, it's so absurdly heavy-handed. It uses every cliche in the book. There's a manic pixie dream love interest. There are lines of dialogue that I have legitimately heard in parodies of romance films, the I'm a grenade line being the standout. So yeah, was this a parody? The poster has the tagline, "One sick love story," so that's what it seems to indicate. Except apparently that is the exact opposite of what this movie is. A love story based off of a best-selling book about a teenage girl who falls in love while undergoing cancer treatment. As I've said many times before, just because a movie looks terrible does not mean it will be terrible, just because a movie looks good does not mean it will be good. But yeah, this movie looks terrible. I'm sure fans of the book will flock to its defense regardless of quality, just look at Twilight, but just because the book was good does not mean the movie will be good. This has been proven hundreds of times in the history of film. Just because this book was written by a YouTuber does not change that. That is not an exception. If it wasn't my job to watch movies, I would say this was a film to skip.
You gave me a forever within the numbered days, and I can't tell you how thankful I am for our little infinity.
It's a good life, Hazel Grace. Okay.
Okay.
3 Days to Kill.
You're sick, Ethan. But I could offer you an experimental drug that might just give you your life back.
So I buy back my life by killing for you.
That's the job. You have 3 days to kill.
Another holdover from months ago. Do you like the idea of Kevin Costner having 3 days left to live and he has to kill a lot of bad guys in a schlocky action thriller? No? Then steer clear.
Zoe?
I want to make dinner tonight, and I want to make spaghetti sauce, so I need your help.
Just so happens I'm in a meeting here with the real live Italian. He wants to give you a great recipe.
Why don't you say hello to my daughter?
Hello, I am Guido.
Chef.
We're being reviewed by the most important critic in the city.
Now suddenly you're going to be an artist. Well, be an artist on your own time. It's my restaurant.
The kitchen is my domain. That was our deal.
The deal is now changed. Either you stay or you go.
So you're threatening to fire me now?
No, I'm telling you what I'm prepared to do if you don't cook my menu.
It's up. The review's out. His dramatic weight gain can only be explained by the fact that he must be eating all the food sent back to the kitchen.
You didn't like what they wrote about you?
I didn't like it either.
Who cares?
I do, because I could have done better. I should have cooked food that I was gonna cook. There are chefs that cook food that they believe in, and people will try because they're open to a new experience, and they'll end up liking it.
Jon Favreau is one of the most versatile filmmakers out there. He does screen acting, voice acting, he writes TV, he writes film, he directs TV and film. He directed Made, a dark comedy mobster crime film, and followed it with Elf, a light-hearted, hilarious Christmas film. Zathura, Iron Man, Cowboys and Aliens. Despite having a small filmography, he has shown great variety in his work. Not necessarily great quality, but great variety. Not to mention, he is the only director in the world who has ever gotten Kristen Stewart to show an emotion in Zathura. But working in blockbusters for a few years, Favreau has returned to the low-budget scene, and with the help of his A-list actor friends, has made a great-looking comedy about a chef who goes on the road to reignite his passion for food, with Favreau playing the lead role. It may not be a Michelin star meal of a movie, but God, I hate using food metaphors for things.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't do it. What are you writing?
Chef, don't. That's not a good idea. Just listen. I won't send it until we all say it's okay. Why don't you come by again tonight? I got a whole new menu just for you, asshole.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
Don't do it.
That's out there now,
This
bro.
happens. Why would you do that?
You can't take that back.
So what are you gonna do?
You're gonna laugh.
Tony, Carl's got a taco truck.
For real?
I was so jealous when I heard your voice. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie.
This is the movie? I'm an independent trader. I'm loving it. Tom, if you're not buying, fuck off.
Let's see which stall will be the next one to go.
They won't be happy till the close is all down.
But they won't take me without a fight. There's nothing to worry about. God's sake, sometimes you're as useless as a knitted condom.
This Mrs. Brown, she has a mouth on her.
Fresh fruit and vegetables!
You better take this serious.
You'll sell your stall, you stupid bitch.
Anything else, love?
Easiest thing ever. Do you like Brendan O'Carroll's television series in which he cross-dresses as an old Irish lady in front of a live studio audience? If not, don't watch this. But if you do, honestly, I still have my doubts. Comedic personas like Keith Lemon can be funny in short bursts and within their own controlled environment, but when they span out into full-length features with broader horizons, they can become painful to watch, so I'm sorry, I don't really know what to say about this. The odds are against it in terms of quality, and the UK does not have a good track record with these film spin-offs, but I think the show's okay. Yeah, sometimes I laugh.
One of you lot threatened my mother, and I'm not having
that. You're all very dramatic.
Walking on Sunshine.
You've met my fiance.
This summer,
Feel the power. Just feel the power of love.
experience a musical.
I gotta have faith, faith.
With the greatest hits of the 80s.
If I could turn back time.
Oh God. Make it stop. Make it stop.
Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo.
Okay folks, so that's June 2014. When picking out my most anticipated movies of the month, I'm going to avoid movies that were hangovers from previous years or months. I'm sorry Fruitvale Station, Oculus and Chef. Damn it, those were actually my most anticipated movies. Okay, so let's go for 22 Jump Street and Belle. Nothing wrong with the bronze medal, eh folks? Don't worry people, we have How to Train Your Dragon 2, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Guardians of the Galaxy next month. Hang in there. So what are your most anticipated movies of June 2014, or as I like to call it, the month of legitimately interesting true-to-life stories? Be sure to leave your picks in the comment section below, and be sure to hit that like button because it really helps me out, and subscribe. I shall see you guys next time.